Kia ora, good evening and welcome to Central News for Thursday the 31st of July. I'm Anne-Marie Case-Miller. In today's news, mothers in Tauranga and the wider Western Bay of Plenty will have another option available to them from October when the Bethlehem Birthing Centre opens its doors. The privately owned birthing facility will be available for women having natural, non-complicated births and will be free for all pregnant women eligible for publicly funded maternity services in New Zealand. Women who give birth in Tauranga Hospital will also be able to visit the Bethlehem Birthing Centre to receive their postnatal care. Chief Executive Nikki Campbell says Bethlehem Birthing Centre offers another choice for Tauranga women wanting to have a natural birth with the support of their lead maternity carer. The Waipa District Council have recently released their annual plan for the 2014-2015 year, and as part of that plan have announced plans to build a new library in Te Awamutu at a cost of $4.4 million. Mayor of Waipa District, Jim Milcreast, explains what exactly is happening with the new Te Awamutu library.
Well, the Te Awamutu Library is going to be replaced over the next couple of years. Basically, our existing library is now reached the end of its useful life, I suppose, in terms of a library. The building's still structurally fine, but the library space is nowhere near appropriate, I suppose, for the population now using that library.
In sport, and the Chiefs have crossed the Tasman and signed 19-year-old Auckland-born giant lock Cameron Skelton to a development contract through to the end of next year. At 2.5 metres and 145 kilograms, Cameron is the younger brother of the new Wallabies locking sensation Will Skelton. Both Chiefs coach Dave Rennie and high performance manager Chris Tyndall flew to Sydney this week to secure the signature of Cameron Skelton. Skelton will arrive in New Zealand later this week to join the Waikato Juniors squad in Hamilton, just in time for their Friday night team launch at Waikato University, before becoming part of the Chiefs development program. The Chiefs are actively looking at enticing New Zealand-born players back to New Zealand to play at a higher level via Super Rugby, and Skelton's recruitment was part of that. Mount Mauganui's ASB Bay Park will again host the world-class Jet Sprints event after a 3-year deal was signed with the New Zealand Jet Sprint Association last weekend. The contract, which will see Bay Park become the home stadium for jet sprinting, was signed between council-owned Bay venues, Jet Sprint BOP and the Jet Sprint Association during the organisation's AGM on Saturday. It will mean the 2-day World Invitational Championship will be hosted annually at ASB Stadium at Auckland Anniversary Weekend, beginning next January. The inaugural 2014 NZ V8 Jet Sprints were held at Bay Park in January this year, attracting crowds of more than 15,000 in what was the world's first stadium-based jet sprinting event. Time to take a look at the marine forecast now, with Raglan expecting a nor'west of 15 knots, rising on Friday to 25 knots with a moderate sou'west swell expected. High tide 6 minutes to 1 tomorrow morning. Bay of Plenty, nor'west of 15 knots expected with a rough sea. High tide 20 minutes past 10 tonight. Still to come on Central News, we find out how to keep ourselves safe online, and up next discover more about Dress for Success. Kia ora, welcome back to Central News. It can be extremely daunting for women re-entering the workforce after raising children or a period of unemployment. Dress for Success aims to make that process a little less scary. The founder of Dress for Success, Nancy Lublin, said that only 25% of Dress for Success is about providing clothes and the other 75% is about building confidence. I spoke with Executive Manager of Hamilton's Dress for Success, KM Adams, and asked her how they go about building that confidence.
It's a huge thing actually, and you do see it when our clients walk through the door, because they walk through the door with their heads down and their shoulders rounded often, and then you see them when they walk out, and the shoulders are back, the head's up, and they're 10 foot tall and bulletproof, and it is just fantastic. And it's a big process, and I think a lot of it is our wonderful volunteers who, you know, I mean, they are just amazing, our volunteers. There are stylists, but they're also like a coaching team as well, and they know how to talk to our clients about how they're going for an interview, and also what to expect in an interview, that sort of thing. So they're talking to them about that all the time. We also have a career centre. So part of the career centre is talking to our clients about what you've got in your CV. If they haven't got a CV that's up to scratch, we can help them get their CV up to scratch. We can help them write cover letters. We can go through mock interviews. So they're all prepared for that big scary interview, which, you know, can be quite daunting. So that's about building confidence. Part of building confidence too is people feeling good about themselves. You can't be confident if you don't feel good about yourself. And often when our clients walk through the door, no one's ever spent any time with them. These are women who have never had anyone pay them any attention. A lot of it is women at home who have been looking after other people, whether it's their children or their parents, and no one spent any time on them. And we have these wonderful volunteers, I've seen them, who get down on the floor and put their shoes on for the clients. They treat them like they've walked into this high-end boutique. They get to go into the changing rooms and they get to try on all sorts of clothes while the stylists say, not sure about that look on you, let's try something else, and blah, blah, blah. And it just feels like, you know, that scene out of Pretty Woman, you know, where they come in and out and they can have other people here to say, oh, I like you in that, but all this attention on them. And they get pampered, and they get to pick out a piece of costume jewellery, and just, I mean, that kind of attention and making you feel good about yourself and dressing you in your absolute best, that's going to make your confidence rocket. And if you feel good and look good, the whole package is there.
Not only do you provide an initial dressing, you also provide a second dressing. How does that work?
When our client gets a job, and it may not happen the first time, and often it doesn't. You don't always get the first job, but that's right, it just wasn't the job for you. You come back, we can help you through our career centre, redo your CV, rewrite the cover letter, go for another job, and just keep supporting you until you get your job. When you get your job, you come back to us, because the interview outfit needs to be a lot more formal than perhaps you would wear in your working life. So you've got this formal interview outfit, but then you need to have a week's worth of clothing. You can't just wear one outfit for 7 or for 5 days that you're at work, hopefully. So you come back to us and we provide you with a capsule wardrobe. So our stylists are very good at picking out bits and pieces that you can then stretch for the 5 days that you're at work. So you'll maybe get another pair of shoes, a couple of blouses or shirts or whatever, another jacket. If you've had a pair of trousers, maybe a skirt, whatever. So you've got this capsule wardrobe that will last you for a week, because often the first pay packet or two is going to go on groceries, rent, food, important stuff like that. So you get that capsule wardrobe. You also get a piece of jewellery from Esteem Jewellery to say thank you.
Now, people are referred to you by organisations.
Yes.
What types of organisations?
So we have Work and Income New Zealand. They refer a lot of clients to us. We have a lot of job agencies refer people to us, a lot of job training agencies. We have a lot of Christian organisations. So any organisation that sets itself up that wants to help women get into the workforce, refugees, anything like that, immigration, we help women in need. So anyone that's helping women get back into the workforce, and these women can't afford to buy themselves interview clothes or don't have the tools to get into the workforce, we help.
And for women who are successful in gaining employment, you have a group for professional women to meet and talk with each other.
Yeah, it's the Professional Women's Group, and it's just, studies have shown that, you know, getting a job's only half of it. Keeping it is very important, you know, and that's a really tough thing to do. Oftentimes the support is just not there. What do you do when your child's sick and, you know, you've got a job to go to? What happens about childcare? That's those sort of questions. How do you do it? How do you keep going? So the Professional Women's Group is a network that we get expert speakers in to talk on a couple of different pillars about health, nutrition, well-being, just how to cope in work-life situation. And it also puts you in touch with other working women, so that you've got a network around you of like-minded women who are working, so that you don't get into that situation where you are going with other women who are saying, what are you going to work for? You know, stay home, da da da. And it helps you stay in that work situation and also have that network around you.
Tell me about the makeup and styling workshop.
Oh, this is so much fun. We have this wonderful stylist who has been volunteering for Dress for Success for a while now. Her name's Sian Lowry. She runs Ginger, and she comes in once a month and she runs a makeup and styling presentation workshop. Now, sometimes the clients come here to us, and sometimes Sian takes the workshop to clients. And she runs a presentation. She's absolutely fabulous, but she will teach our clients how to dress for the workplace. So she has this wonderful story that she goes through. She tells it much better than me, but it's about a woman in the UK who went out and did this study where she went out with for an interview with no makeup on. Then she went back for the same interview, for the same job, with a little bit of makeup on, and then she went back dressed up to the nines, hair sprayed up, looking like a slapper basically, lots of makeup on, big red lips, that sort of stuff. Now, there was a difference of £16,000 UK in the amount of money she was offered for that same job, depending on the makeup. So with no makeup and with a face full of makeup, looking like a slapper, she got £16,000 less. So it just shows you that the right amount of makeup or the right presentation can get you a lot more money. And that's the kind of thing she's going for. So it's about getting the best for yourself, because a lot of our clients say, oh, don't want to wear makeup, don't like it, bit scared. So she will show our clients how to wear just a little bit of makeup, just to show you how you can look good and feel good. And she will go through them in this workshop, and we have makeup here to give to our clients and help them feel good about themselves.
To find out more information, go to dressforsuccess.org.nz/Hamilton. Up next on Central News, we speak with Ryan Coe from the University of Waikato about cybersecurity. Kia ora, welcome back to Central News. The cybersecurity researchers of Waikato at the University of Waikato have had international recognition for their programs and research around cybersecurity. The need for highly trained people in this profession is paramount as criminal activity on the internet increases. I spoke with Dr. Ryan Coe, Senior Lecturer at the Crow Lab at the University of Waikato, about the rise of cybersecurity as a profession.
Oh, because we are all on the same canoe, right? So if one part of the canoe actually sinks, everyone sinks together with it. And what is this canoe? This canoe is actually the internet. We are all connected. And if our computers are compromised and could be used by someone else to do malicious things, we're actually contributing to that cybercrime. So we should all be very vigilant and be very careful with what we do with our computers.
Ryan, tell me about the rise of cybersecurity as a profession.
Yes, so in the past, it used to be, the security of your systems. You depend on this technical guy or this geeky guy in your office, right, to help you to maintain the passwords and keep it secure. But right now, the sophistication of the attacks are starting to surface. For example, the malware is created, unique malware is created every half a second. Yeah. And the attackers are now using other people's computers to do attacks. So the sophistication requires a sophistication of skill sets, and hence there is a need to actually train professionals to meet up with the demand.
How is the Cybersecurity Researchers of Waikato program helping to fill a gap in the market?
Yeah, the Cybersecurity Researchers of Waikato, or CROW as we call it, addresses two main areas. One is in education and one is in research. They come hand in hand. So when a student comes through our program, in the postgraduate program, they get to learn about the ethical foundations and all the skill sets that are required, but yet they are also challenged by the research problems. Why are we doing research? It's because we have to think ahead of the criminals, at least 5 to 10 years ahead, so that when these graduates come out, right, and they come into the industry, they are actually prepared and they think in a forward-thinking fashion. And some of the tools might even become the future tools that could be used by the industry.
And you've had international recognition for the program.
Yes, we are very happy that we recently got acknowledged by one of the forefathers of cybersecurity, Professor Corey Scow, who came along, and he was observing our program, and he mentioned that we are one of the leaders in the region, and we're very happy that in such a short time we were able to achieve that. But looking ahead, we want to stay grounded and we want to continue surging on. We have a vision. We want to address this gap, which is we want to empower all users. We have this vision where everyone is a defender, as long as everyone can kind of protect themselves in a very easy fashion.
Why is there such a shortage of cybersecurity professionals?
Well, as I said just now, there was a sophistication of crime and malicious intention. The sustainability of all this production of all these malicious attacks come at a rate that is much faster than the supply of professionals that could meet and address them. The law enforcement agencies are also facing a kind of like a bottleneck situation where they have so many cases and they don't have enough manpower. So this lab addresses this long-term need and also the short-term need through different programs. We have postgraduate programs, masters and PhD programs.
Is this a worldwide problem?
It is a worldwide problem because we're all connected to the internet and the internet is used by the world. So we are seeing, for example, a malicious code could be found on your computer, but it is talking to some servers somewhere in other parts of the world, and this server was probably run by another part of the world. So there's a lot of indirect links. So if somebody, say from Asia, were to be vulnerable, we would expect ourselves to be vulnerable very soon because the same attack vectors could just simply come, and usually the main source of weakness is in humans. Yeah, for example, in the recent trends of social engineering, people tend to, the same people in other parts of the world can click on the same link as those over here. So yeah, that's how it is.
What are the job prospects for graduates from your program?
So the job prospects for the students here are very good. We have this in the industry, we call this a zero unemployment rate kind of industry sector. When just before the graduates are coming out into the industry, they usually would have a job offer. Even more recently, I had about 2 or 3 companies from New Zealand asking us about when our graduates are going to come out, and they would like to have them to do some internships with them. So they're definitely in demand, yeah. And this is going to be growing into a $97 billion industry in the next 3 years. Yeah, so I believe there's good confidence that the students will definitely find a job. If not, they can create their own, companies around the inventions they do.
Dr. Koh takes part in a group discussion with NetSafe Chief Executive and Digital Safety Advocate Martin Cocker and online legal expert and Faculty of Law Senior Lecturer Wayne Rumbles around cybersecurity as part of the university's Winter Lecture Series. This is on the 13th of August at the Galahar Academy of Arts. Hamilton has a new business hub. We find out more next on Central News. Welcome back to Central News. Northgate Business Park, 8 k's north of Tarapa and covering 109 hectares at Horotū, has announced a fully consented $100 million freight hub earlier this year. With 14 hectares developed already and available for industrial use, Northgate has another 10 hectares available and could start work tomorrow on a 30 to 50 hectare freight hub should the demand arise. I spoke with project manager Graham Lee to find out more about the Northgate Business Park and how it all started.
The concept started in 2006, it was, where we started working with Waikato District Council then on more industrial land in the Hamilton region, and so we hopped on board there and we worked through the planning from there on. So yeah, that's where it started.
So tell me about the park. Where is it exactly?
So the Northgate Business Park is actually 109 hectares of now industrial zone land, and we're either side of the main trunk railway lines. And And we're located at sort of Horotū. Probably the best is between the Fonterra Dairy Factory and the AFCO factory, sort of right in the middle of that. And we're where the Horotū interchange is for the Te Rapa, for the Waikato Expressway, where that joins. So we're located right there.
It's a great location. You're so near to the main trunk line.
Yeah, correct. And also the Waikato Expressway and access onto the Waikato Expressway, particularly now that the Ngaruawahia bypass has been completed. And you might have seen just this week that Huntly bypass is now been approved, so that'll start soon. So it'll make the trip to Auckland 4 lanes, and that starts in, it completes in 2019, I think, is the completion of the Huntly bypass. So we'll have 4 lanes from Northgate to Auckland, which is great.
What's your vision for the Northgate Business Park?
Our vision is to relocate other existing businesses in Hamilton that have outgrown their premises, and a number of our current people that we're working with are across 2 or 3 locations in Hamilton, and they want to get back into one location for that. And also obviously to get some economic growth for the Waikato district. So.
It's a fantastic opportunity with the main trunk line there. We need to get some trucks off the road. Yep. Tell me about the opportunity with rail.
The opportunity there is very much, we have very long exposure to the current North Island main trunk railway line. It is double tracked where we are, so that means you can pass going north and south. And we have approval from Kiwi Rail that we can connect to that. So that allows us to provide loops and sidings and those sorts of things, which for the big industries will be really, really beneficial for them. And also for the other industries that are there, or any other industrial activities in Hamilton, they can get access to the land that we've set aside for the intermodal freight hub, and it's just a centre place where they can access the lines, really.
For more details, go to northgatepark.co.nz. Time to take a look at the weather at your place now. Hamilton, expect fine spells on your Friday with occasional rain. Norwesterlies expected on a high of 17 degrees, low of 10 overnight. Around the region, same forecast for Pāroa with a high of 17 expected, 11 your low. Matamata 16 and 12. Te Awamutu expect a high of 17 with 10 your low. And Tokerua, a wee bit cool on 14 degrees and a low of 10. Tauranga expect cloud to increase with norwesterlies expected in a high of 17 degrees with a low of 12. And looking around the bay, Te Puke can expect a cloudy day with 15 degrees and 12 overnight. And that's Central News for today, Thursday the 31st of July 2014. Thank you for joining me. Make sure you join our Facebook page and let us know of news in your community. I'm Anne-Marie Case-Miller. I'll catch you back tomorrow night. Ka kite anō.
This has been an Alpha Media production, a division of Television Media Group.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.